When Krishna called Radha's name in the sacred forests of Vrindavan, where the Yamuna river flows gently and the breeze carries the fragrance of blooming flowers, there once echoed a sound more powerful than thunder and softer than a whisper. It was not the sound of a flute. It was Krishna calling Radha's name. From childhood, Radha and Krishna shared a divine connection that went beyond ordinary understanding. The villagers saw them as playful companions, but the saints and sages knew their bond represented something eternal, the union between the individual soul and the Supreme. One golden evening, as the sky turned shades of pink and orange, Krishna wandered alone near the banks of the Yamuna. The cows had returned home, and the village lights began to glow softly. Yet Krishna's heart felt unusually quiet. He lifted his flute, but this time he did not play. Instead, in a voice filled with tenderness, he softly called, Radha. The name floated through the forest like sacred mantra. Radha, who was arranging flowers in her home in Barsana, suddenly paused. Her heart trembled. Though she had not heard the call with her ears, she felt it within her soul. It was as if her very being responded to that single word. She stepped outside and looked toward Vrindavan. Again, Krishna called, Radha. The trees seemed to sway. The birds fell silent. Even the flowing Yamuna slowed, as if honoring that sacred moment. Devotees believe that when Krishna called Radha's name, it revealed a deep spiritual truth. The Supreme Lord, who is worshipped by gods and sages, also longs for the love of his pure devotee. Radha hurried toward the forest path. She was not driven by curiosity, but by love. When she reached Krishna, their eyes met under the soft evening light. There were no grand gestures, no dramatic words, only silence, a silence filled with divine understanding. Why did you call me? Radha asked gently. Krishna smiled. Because your name brings me peace. Those simple words carried the weight of eternity. In many scriptures and devotional traditions, Radha is described as the highest form of devotion, pure, selfless, unconditional. When Krishna called her name, he was honoring that devotion. Some elders of Vrindavan would later say that Krishna's greatness shines brightest, not in his miracles, but in his humility, and the way he values the love of his devotees. That evening, as the moon rose over Vrindavan, Krishna and Radha walked together along the Yamuna. The world around them felt timeless. Devotees explain that when Krishna calls Radha's name, it symbolizes something deeper. God responds to pure love. The divine is not distant or cold. He listens. He feels. He calls back. Later, when Krishna left Vrindavan to fulfill his duties in Mud, the memory of that sacred call remained alive in Radha's heart. Though physically separated, she would often close her eyes and hear it again. Radha and Krishna, even as a king and guide, carried her name within his heart. That is why, even today, millions of devotees say, Radhe Krishna, instead of just Krishna. It reminds the world that divine love is mutual, that the soul seeks God, and God lovingly responds. The day Krishna called Radha's name was not just a moment in time. It was a reminder that love rooted in devotion is eternal. Moral of the story: true devotion creates a connection that even God honors. If this beautiful story touched your heart, remember that Krishna still calls every soul with love and compassion. Subscribe to Eternal Love for Krishna for more authentic devotional stories and spiritual inspiration. May Radha and Krishna bless your life with faith, humility, and eternal peace. Radhe.